You sit down, nothing is wrong. No deadline, no crisis, no one needs you right now. And your body still won't settle. There's a low hum underneath everything, like a machine left running in another room. You can't find it, you can't turn it off, and after a while, you stop trying. You call it your personality, you should probably look at that. Notice what happens when you actually have free time. Not time you should be using, real, unscheduled, non obligation time. Most people don't rest in it, they feel it immediately, automatically. The phone comes out before the thought even finishes forming. Something gets checked, something gets organized, something half watched while doing something else. And the strange part, it doesn't feel like avoidance. It feels normal. It feels like preference. Ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you sat somewhere quietly and felt okay? Not restless, not slightly guilty, not like you were falling behind something invisible. Not performing rest, actually resting. If you are struggling to remember, that's not a small thing. That's a signal. The way this usually gets framed is personal. You are anxious, you are addicted to stimulation, you have trouble being present, you need better habits. All of that places the origin inside you, as if this difficulty is a character flaw that predates the environment you are living. But consider something quieter. You were placed into a system that is structurally hostile to stillness. Every surface of modern life is optimized to keep your nervous system just activated enough that full rest never quite arrives. That's not a conspiracy, that's just the architect. The attention economy doesn't profit from your calm. Productivity culture doesn't reward your stillness. And performance, professional, social, personal, is never officially paused. So, when you can't relax, you are not failing at something simple. You are experiencing the logical outcome of prolonged conditioning. The question isn't, why can't I relax? The better question is, what has rest been trained to feel like? Your nervous system has one primary object: assess the threat and respond. In a genuine threat, it activates, heart rate rises, attention narrows, the body prepares. That part is working exactly as designed. The problem is subtle. Your nervous system does not distinguish cleanly between a predator and a notification, between physical danger and social pressure, between an emergency and a performance review. It reads urgency as a threat. It reads being evaluated as a threat. It reads falling behind as a threat. And in modern life, urgency is constant. The sense of being watched through metrics, messages, expectations is constant. The feeling of falling behind is almost structurally granted. So, the system stays mildly activated, not in crisis, just on. And when a system is held in low grade alert long enough, something important happens. Calm starts to feel unfamiliar. Rest stops feeling like a relief. It starts feeling like a gap you forgot to fill, like something pending, like a small problem you haven't handled yet. The body learns slowly, quietly, through repetitions that stillness is slightly unsafe. Not dramatically unsafe, just wrong enough to avoid. So the hum continues. And most people adapt in the only way they know how. They schedule their rest, optimize their downtime, gamify their recovery. They bring performance logic into the only space that was supposed to be free for it. And it never quite works because the same mode that created the tension is now being used to solve it. Here's the part that's harder to sit with. Most of what you experience as restlessness or background anxiety or the inability to fully switch off was never random. It was shaped gradually through years of being rewarded for output and quietly being penalized for stillness, through environment that measured your value from visible productivity, through a culture that turned busyness into identity and rest into something you have to earn. You didn't arrive here broken. You arrived here trained. And the training was so consistent, so ambient, that it stopped feeling like conditioning and started feeling like personality. That's the mechanism. Not a personal failure, not a simple discipline issue. A nervous system shaped inside an environment that rarely made space for stillness without consequences. That harm you keep noticing, it isn't coming from nowhere. It's the residue of prolonged adaptation. You don't need to fix this today, but it helps to know it's there because most people spend years managing the symptoms, the scrolling, the restlessness, the low grade tension, without even seeing the structure underneath. Once you see the pattern clearly, it becomes much harder to mistake it for your personality. And that's usually where something begins to shift.